Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Farlands or Bust, episode 586. That's right? Did I update that correctly? Well, I'm going with the theory that it is episode 586 of the series for your Thursday, April 21st, 2016. We schmelted and then grabbed the iron from the furnace there. Good thing we didn't forget it like we did before. We're going to grab Wolfie. We're not going to forget Wolfie. And we are going to go, left here, Wolfie. That's a good idea. Around this minefield of... I know. Cactus. Thank you, Wolfie. Minefield of cactus. Cactus field of cactus. Because Wolfie is a bit of a derp and likes to run into them and take damage. But we're going to go a little bit left here, but then continue west to the Farlands in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. Sorry, had a little bit of a short circuit there. Minecraft Beta 1.7.3, the last version of this little-known game called Minecraft. The last version that included those Farlands. As we are trying to reach and have been trying to reach for the past 5 years. You know what else we're trying to reach? $60,000. I'm really proud of that one. $60,000 for Child's Play charity here in Season 6 of the series. We are currently at $32,235.38. 53% of the way to that goal. Child's Play charity helps get toys, books, games to kids in hospitals around the world. We've been supporting them for almost 5 years here and have raised over $350,000 total over all the seasons of Farlands or Bust. So I appreciate, as always, your continued support for that, for Farlands or Bust. And hopefully, perhaps, you check out some of my other YouTube videos, content, and we all have happy times. Or if you just watch Farlands or Bust, whatever, that's fine too. Whatever, man, that's fine too. I'll be all right. No, that's fine too. I know quite a few people who perhaps only tune in for the flob, or vice versa, even only tune in for something else, or the racing, or whatever. That's all right. That's why I give a wide. Ooh, I need trees. That was something that I said in the last episode. What was I saying? I was saying something, Wolfie. Oh, that's fine. That's why I provide a breadth of hopefully interesting games, videos, and content to select for the breadth of Farlanders and fans out there, hopefully. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys being here as well. Indeed. I really quickly just wanted to... there was no question, but Tax-A-Lot gave a generous donation and a very nice note that I read, and I appreciate your donation and appreciate you. You said you're going through and watching all the videos, so yeah, I appreciate you for checking that out, and wish you and your family the best of luck. And that's all I'll say about that. So yeah, thank you very much, Tax-A-Lot. Conveniently, around tax time, Tax-A-Lot donated to Child's Play charity. Is getting a head start on next year's deductibles. Oh, man. But yeah, we are continuing on here in Farlands or Bust. We didn't have a Tuesday episode, I'm afraid. But we do have this Thursday episode. And then there won't be, programming note, there will not be a Friday, Flob Friday on Twitch. Or a Saturday episode, because I will be in Boston. I will be in Boston for PAX East. My first PAX East. Despite multiple people mistaking me for having been there before. Didn't we meet there? Didn't I see you there? No. First time in Boston, first time at PAX East. Normally wouldn't go because it's a bit of a trek, but it just seemed like a perfect storm of a big group of friends, new and old, who are attending. So I decided let's do this. Let's do this one. Why don't we? And I'm nervous. I'm looking forward to it. Not looking forward to the full day of travel tomorrow. As in getting up at, 4 a.m. or whatever I'm going to have to get up at to get to the airport and then fly and then lay over somewhere else and then finally get to the East Coast in like the early evening, which is like really annoying. Lose an entire day, but hopefully it's all worth it, and I'm looking forward to that. And if anybody else is going to PAX East, certainly stop by and say hello. There is yet again going to be a Mindcrack booth. I should have checked beforehand, but I do have each day at least 2 hours definitely scheduled. They're going to use that to publish a schedule, so maybe I'll retweet that or something. But there's at least going to be 2 hours where I'm guaranteed going to be at the booth. I have time at the booth. If that's when you wanted to come by and chat and say hello, and I'll bring some postcards to give out or whatever. But I don't have any because, unlike San Antonio, I don't have any knowledge of the area. Never been there. So I'm not planning on scheduling any Farlander or Kurt J. Mac meetup. I might tweet out where I'm at, or perhaps I tag along with somebody else's or another group's meetup. I'll let that be known. But I'm kind of, as I've mentioned many times before, still trying to figure out how to do these conventions. And I feel like this time maybe... Hello, Skeleton. See you later. You're not invited to PAX. Oh, especially if you do that. That was an arch shot, bank shot, right over Wolfie there. But yeah, I think this time I'm gonna try to go more as like an attendee. I'm really not wanting to like work as Kurt J. Mac. I just want to go as Kurt, and perhaps hang out, perhaps meet new people, but more so hang out with new friends, old friends, and just get that quota. Or at least a partial quota of the interpersonal in-person interaction that I doth require and need more of. So I think that's what I'm going about. That doesn't mean like you can't come up and say hi if you're there or whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do that. I think that's my angle. That's my plan, man. So yeah, looking forward to that. Gonna be different. Gonna be different indeed. I have a lot of people, despite most people disagreeing with me, seem to enjoy the rambly, ranty topic episode of a couple weeks ago, or last week, when I talked about the Minecraft combat update. Perhaps not as rambly or say embroiled of a topic, but I do have a topic here. It went about the Twitters and has gone around the gaming, specifically the game development communities online, is an article that was written that has rightly rustled some jimmies as far as game development goes. I saw it kind of show up on Twitter, and then it hit all the blogs and whatever. But there was this article on VentureBeat. I'm probably not going to link to it. I'll get to that in a moment. By this fellow named Alex St. John, who has been in the games community for quite a while because he is a co-creator of the original DirectX, the Microsoft DirectX platform, whatever that is, all the things that the vast majority of PC computing graphics are based on nowadays, I think. He's an ex-game developer, and he's now he's like a speaker, perhaps a consultant is what he calls himself, and a writer. And honestly, the article, it seems like one of these articles, and a lot of his talks and speeches seem like they intend to be, I suppose clickbait might be a strong word, but it might be clickbait. It's almost like trolling would be a strong word, but it does seem like it's trolling for backlash or, causing perhaps expressing some less than savory views. It seems like. I don't know if that's the case. This guy very well may just completely 100% believe in what he's writing about. But essentially, he wrote an article pretty much saying about game developers that as a game developer, you should stop complaining about what's called crunch, development crunch. Pretty much all AAA games experience this, and this is mostly talking about being in a AAA game studio where, you're reaching the deadline, and for those of you who don't know, deadlines are important, and the vast majority of big games end up getting delayed sometimes, but there's this crunch where you're pretty much, as an employee, you've got to work 80-hour weeks. You don't get paid overtime for this extra work, and it's just stress, work, get the deadline, sort of stuff at the end. And he's basically, in this article, saying that developers should, or anybody who perhaps complains or finds this to be less than a savory working environment, to shut up and deal with it, or leave. Somebody else will take your job. And that is quite, like I said, that really just sounds like somebody who's just looking to poke a hornet's nest or something like that, suggesting something like that. So I'll get some responses to that and expand on that, and see how that actually relates to myself, or perhaps it relates to you in the morning. And awakeness. And continuing on this. You doing all right, Wolfie? Wolfie's doing all right. So yeah, this Alex St. John wrote this article, and there have been quite a few similar articles. This is, like I said, very particular to game development, but we've all probably seen similar articles, rants, from, say, baby boomers, different generations, looking at millennials or whatever. Oh, we're all so lazy, we don't want to put in the work, or vain with our selfies and Twitters, and can't handle the 9-to-5 jobs. Why are you going back and living at home after college and not getting a job and a mortgage and blah 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 blah. It's in that, it feels like it's in that same vein as a different generation looking down and criticizing and saying, you should just do it like me, or you should be glad you're blah 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 blah. And it's really not cool, man. Totally not cool, man. And there have been widespread responses, mostly to the contrary, that that's at all healthy or acceptable. I first heard about the article from, I'm following Rami Ismail, who is with, I'm saying his name wrong, I apologize, but met at PAX Prime last year, a couple years ago. He's with Vlambeer, who most recently did Nuclear Throne, indie developer. But he had quite a few responses on Twitter about it, and that's how I first saw the article, and very much agreed with all of his points. And essentially, basically, the argument of this original article by this St. John character is making games is not a job, it's an art. So he's basically saying, you're an artist, you should have your 80-hour weeks in the studio, or comparing it to like a sculptor, or the Sistine, painting the Sistine Chapel or something like that. You should be a starving artist, or you should be bleeding for your art. And Rami says, art, this is a direct quote, that's a really good quote, art is not mutually exclusive with taking care of yourself. You don't have to cut off your ear to make a great painting. And that can be applied, obviously, to the gaming. You don't have to abandon your health, your family, your life, your getting paid fairly if you're working 8 hours a week and only getting paid for 40 or whatever. You don't have to exchange these things to quote unquote make an art. And it is a job. His argument is also, it is a job. This is specifically looking at the bigger game studios who encourage this crunch, this development crunch. It is a job. You are employed by a very large corporation with a lot of money, perhaps. They shouldn't treat their employees in this job like this. They should perhaps they should indeed have better project management and better care of the people who make them who they are, and it's really not, it's not healthy. It is that way in a lot of industries as well. There's a lot of parallels that can be drawn between that and you can look at retail work. The quote unquote the crunch, or whatever that takes place for minimum wage retail workers, say around the holidays or whatever, and perhaps not getting proper reimbursement. There's a big, one of the big political points, at least lately, election year, is raising the minimum wage, because there's no way that people working 40 hours a week on $8.25 an hour can make a living off of that. And it's not their fault. It's always about pinning the blame on the person doing the job, or the lowest rung of the ladder. But yeah, it's a discussion that happens a lot, and I just started to draw. I started to pronunciate each syllable in every word. No, I started to draw parallels between this and other industries, and even we can draw a little bit of a parallel to what we're doing here. This YouTube, Twitch, gaming, even beyond gaming and content, online content creation. A lot of people argue that it's an art, it's creative, it's fun. That's a big hello wolves, Cavalove. That's probably the biggest argument people tend to have when say someone like myself or YouTubers or whatever, or perhaps getting a little bit burned out, and it's a fun job. You should be happy to work up till 7 a.m., editing videos or whatever. It's a fun job. Just that's the same argument as it's an art. You should strive and bleed for your art. You're chopping off your ears and stuff. So I just drew some parallels there. I've talked about this in the past, about how, speaking about wages or whatever, and it's tough to find a solution to, and it just needs more discussion, I think, because as YouTubers, Twitchers, whatever we are, we're independent contractors, I suppose. So we're kind of the ones paying ourselves theoretically. So it's hard to draw that parallel. But then I've talked about, well, how come the platforms who are hugely profiting from our work are unable to fill that gap, to make it a worthwhile endeavor, career-wise, job-wise, reimbursement-wise, and then we do end up having to turn to fan funding or other means of income, sponsorships and whatnot. What's wrong with the way the platform is constructed that's an issue? These websites, these platforms are making the millions, the billions perhaps even, but it's not going down to those who make that possible. So yeah, it just kind of struck that chord, and you constantly hear about YouTubers or whoever burning out. You constantly worry about certain people, the habits they might have, just the amount of work we put on ourselves that seems almost required. Oh, you gotta have this many videos a day, or you gotta have this many views, or else you're not gonna be able to be sustainable. You can't pay these bills or these rent or whatever, or you'll start losing subscribers and views, and it's your fault for not being more consistent, or it's and say, quote unquote, being more consistent means working 7 days a week, having videos up every day, or streaming every day consistently. It might work for some people, and sure, if it makes you happy to work 80 hours a week, and this was also something that Remy said in his response article. Hey, if you're happy doing it part-time for 2 hours a week, 40 hours a week, or if you can do game dev for 80 hours a week, and that's healthy for you, and you're happy and healthy, and that makes you happy, then yeah, that's all. Go for it. We're all different. We're all if I can make a strange car analogy, we've all got different specs. And we all have different gear ratios and limits to how high our engines can rev. That doesn't make, perhaps that means a certain person is good at one thing versus another one is good at going fast or taking corners or whatever. But that doesn't mean that you have to push your engine to the point of overheating and exploding because you're required to keep up with this Pagani Zonda or whatever. You know what I mean? It's that was like I kind of that analogy trailed off pretty quick. And this, I'm talking from what I know, YouTube and content creation, gaming, this internet thing, but it can be applied to any job, I think, career, or anything, really. So yeah, that just kind of struck a little bit of a chord with me, and I certainly agree that article is a bunch of bull donkeys, let's say that, and it's oh god, we're freezing again. We're pushing the Farlands world too hard. Are we all right? I think we're all right. That's the first time that's happened in a while. Is it happening when I'm deviating left and right? I don't know. We'll have to think about that. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Perhaps if maybe I'll link to Rami's response article, since that's a little bit better and kind of takes a point-by-point response to the original article. Maybe I'll link to that. If you've not been aware of this, it's a discussion to have, and I certainly hope, that if any of you are game developers, or just the game development community in general, adopts a more healthy look. Hey! Wow, this doesn't happen often, especially while we're still walking. It's crazy. We're gonna get all soggy tonight. All right. Maybe those freezes have something to do with weather, or the weather timer, or something. Although, what's the term? Correlation doesn't imply causation. This is the first time it's ever been directly followed by rain, so perhaps that means absolutely nothing. We have a sample size of 1 in regard to this. So, Anyway, let's go to sleep before we catch a cold, and we will continue in the morning. And awakeness and a drying offness. We've reset the weather meter. Ooh, that was an abrupt stop to the rain. Right, Wolfie? You alright? Need to dry you off? You smell like a wet dog. A wet dog. Yeah, I guess let's make a boat. Gosh, it's all this new wood that I got. I'm going through it all. So yeah, I would, I'm obviously, like I said, I'm not a game developer. I've never even attempted to develop any sort of game or anything like that. But it's something that is obviously a daily thing I'm involved in and near and dear to my heart. So I hope that the people making my games are not put under these conditions. Similarly with artists, graphic designers, web designers, musicians online, whatever it may be. I want us to all be healthy and happy, and maybe this is something new that this generation, our generation, is starting to realize, that it's not about working yourself to the bone if that's not what's healthy for you. It's not about that. There's so much more, and perhaps it's due to our more expanded view of the world, thanks to technologies like the internet and stuff, that we start to find common interests and common ideas, and opposing ideas and different ideas about what it means to be these crazy, smushy, fragile little organisms floating around in space on our little planet Earth here. Oh man, if I could really zoom things back a bit. So yeah, I'll hopefully remember to put the link to that in the video description, to maybe you can check that out. I mean, I probably had a lot more to say. Yeah, we'll talk. It's something that's been on my mind for a while. I've personally been. I mean, I know I'm not the most productive. I'm not the most. Probably not even could even call myself. I can agree that I'm not the most hardest. Whoop, Wolfie broke that boat. Not the hardest working YouTuber in the world. And like I said, it just all has to deal with what we're capable of, how far our engines can rev or whatever. But I feel as to myself, I've been going pretty nonstop for quite a while there, or here even, and that causes. I'm not saying I'm like giving up or burning out or anything, but it causes certain things that happen to probably strike a nerve more harshly than they should, and disproportionately respond to things. And won't go into specifics, but it's just. It's another trigger to step back and be like, okay, how does this apply to what I'm doing, and how can I make what I'm doing better for myself and just overall? Because this is all stuff I want to keep doing. I don't want to feel crunched or burned out or anything. So anyway, I digress. Let's before this episode, we've got plenty of time here. Still have a few questions left over from last Friday, last Flob Friday, last Saturday's episode that I haven't gotten to. So let me get around to answering these, hopefully. From Dayjuays333 on behalf of Jack_Robot, will you ever play GTA 5 again? I would like to, and I might. There is something interesting that I've recently learned about that might be worth trying it for. I haven't, one of the reasons I built this new computer was that all these new games are coming out that I can't play, barely on low graphics. GTA was certainly one of them. I'd like to try that again. It's one of those games that I want to enjoy and I want to play, but I'm not into a lot of what it's about. I'm not into the guns and the shooting and the murders and the PvP combat stuff. The racing is interesting and I think kind of a different approach. The exploration is certainly interesting. I had a really good time playing with Lofty. Maybe I can find time. Another person I'm going to meet at PAX East. I had a good time playing with Lofty. Maybe we'll propose to get back together and have some shenanigans, me and him, or we'll invite some others to do some GTA 5 craziness at some point. It's just one of those games that I could see, let's record for a little bit, make a couple videos, and then, we'll be done with it for a while. Certainly not going to make a full series. Not at all going to be doing the single-player campaign at all with that. But yeah, I could see. I would never say never with that. And it seems like a good time to be good. There's still good times to be had with that, perhaps. I'd also like to see what it looks like on full graphics. But thank you very much for the donation and the question. From Greg, what do you think? I need to get more wood again, remind myself. Greg asks, how do you think things would go if Mindcrack got together for the next UHC in Beta 173? What if you were all teleported to the far lands first? See, I don't think the idea of UHC came about because of the hunger and regenerating health addition in 1.8. In 1.7.3, you don't regenerate health, as you can see. I'm stuck on this half a heart. But eating food right away regenerates your health. I think the only way that could work is if we were to remove all food from the game. And I'm not sure how that would work. Nobody is making Minecraft Beta 173 mods anymore. Nobody is I don't even think you can. You know what? I don't even think you can host a multiplayer server in Beta 173 because they deactivated they changed the authentication servers. So I don't know that that's even possible. I'm sure there might be a way around that, but yeah, I don't know if you remember a couple years ago they changed. You can no longer use the old launcher. I was very concerned about the fact that we couldn't use the old launcher or the old logins with Beta 173, but it turned out to be okay. So yeah, I'm not even sure, and I'm sure you guys will comment. Yeah, you can do this, that, or the other to host a Beta 173 game. I think the only way it would work is if, like, there was a way to rigged the current game to emulate Beta 173. You know, like remove the hunger bar, do that thing that brings the Farlands back, if you wanted to hold it in the Farlands, and you know, make the combat and the tools and the yeah, that would probably be too much work. It'd probably be easier to somehow find a way to make a multiplayer 173 beta server. But that would be interesting. I've always said, and in that last episode, the ranty episode, I always you know, I said I prefer the simpler times, the simple combat, you know, no enchants, no potions, no, you know, crazy stacking the deck in certain orders. It would be interesting, but I don't think that will ever happen. It seems like it's probably too much work, and content-wise, viewers and people are more interested in seeing the current versions of the game, I think. I would be interested in it, though, but I'd probably be the only one. Aces California asked, oh, whoops, wrong one, sorry. What game show or reality show would you like to take part in, given the chance? Personally, of the United States shows, I would like to participate in The Amazing Race. Would you consider the globe-trotting of that? I'm going to disappoint you and probably say none. I don't watch, and I, for the most part, actively dislike reality television. Which is strange. I like, you know, I like the YouTube and vlogs and things like that. But reality television at its core is mostly about creating or emphasizing like conflict between people, and conflict makes me uncomfortable. I don't like it. So, you know, conflict and uncomfortableness and competitiveness even is something I do not like to experience, so I avoid. So there is, to the best of my knowledge, no reality show that I know of that doesn't make use of those tropes that I would like to be a part of. I can't even. I don't like Survivor. I don't like The Amazing Race. I've never watched any of them, and it's no, The Real World. You know, any of that stuff. Does that even happen anymore? So that's how out of touch I am. So I'm gonna say none. I'm gonna say none. I mean, I would like, you know, something interesting would be, I suppose, you know, if something like Mythbusters, is that considered real? I know it's not on anymore, but is that considered reality television? You know, people building things or making things or having fun together, you know, doing stuff like that, is kind of the type of... Whoops, sorry, Wolfie. Sit back down. Come back. Come back. Nope, stop. That's the kind of thing I would rather be involved with, I think. But I don't know that any such thing exists. And even in those cases, they do kind of... You know, there were some episodes of Mythbusters where they exacerbated the conflict between... what's his name and who's his face? Adam and Jamie, and you know that stuff. It's like, I'll tune out of this one, I guess. So, yeah, sorry, that was kind of a non-answer. I'm full of those. I'm full of something. But yeah, thank you very much, Aces California, for the question and the donation. Let's lock ourselves in here, build some beds, and certainly more boats. We went through a lot of boats for the next episode, and like I said, it's gonna probably be until next Thursday's episode that I will return, because I have a full day yet again of travel on Monday, and I'm hoping to be back for I should be up and at them for another Twitch Tuesday next Tuesday. Maybe that'll be a good way to you know, return, is with kind of a chill. No pressure, needing to record, render, edit, upload, all that stuff. Just do a Twitch Tuesday. Might feel good. Might be good for the... What am I doing? Might be good for the... might be good for the recovery. For PAX. I'm losing my mind, my friends. Let's turn these all into torches, I guess. There we go. There we go. That looks much better. It's no more organized, but I feel much happier about that inventory. And yeah, if you are going to PAX East, Boston, certainly say hello. I'll be, like I said, at the Mindcrack booth. The Mindcrack / Nerd Fusion booth, excuse me. At least for a couple hours each day. And then I'll be around elsewhere and say hello if you'd like. If not, that's fine. I do have some video. I haven't gone out of my way to create a bunch of backlog videos like I normally do. Again, I'm trying. My rev limiter only goes so high, so I'm just taking it easy. So I think I have videos going up every day, but there might be a day or two where things haven't scheduled properly. But we've got some Sonic UHCs we've played. We've got some Minecraft Mearders going up and other stuff. So, yeah, I look forward to that. And I look forward to this weekend. Whoops, I should get my workbench up. Keep donating to Child's Play charity at farlandsorbust.com. That would be greatly appreciated. Hope to see what that number is when I get back. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Farlands or Bust. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time. It's really not cool, man.